losing away from home and you get away with this, it must be your day. Come to that, if you're a goal down away and this happens, it doesn't do you any harm. And the question, who put glue on the crossbar at Grimsby? The question for Middlesbrough was how would they respond to a new manager the day after Colin Todd replaced Bruce Rioch?
Well, I mean, I certainly got the feeling yesterday in training. I know Bruce was in and spoke to the players, and I went in and spoke to the players after that, and the response was good. And what Tony Mowbray said to us that we will give you full support. So, I mean, that was super for me to hear that. And let's hope that they go out there and do a job that they're capable of.
They were out there against Hull City at Boothbury Park. Commentator John Helm.
Hull City is still balancing the books after the recent signings of Dave Bamber and Malcolm Shotton, and the former Barnsley centre-back's experience all the more vital in today's relegation six-pointer, following the sale last night of Steve Terry to Northampton for £75,000. Well, Shotton is in direct opposition today to the former Leeds United striker Ian Baird, who has already scored a winning goal on this ground this season. That was for Leeds, but he's yet to get off the mark for Middlesbrough. He'd like to do so today for his new boss. This time the referee plays a good advantage. Askew takes it along, it feeds Brown in the right back position, and Roberts is also over there. Brown has done superbly to get between those two. Payton's in for the header! Deserved a goal. Andy Payton soaring to the cross from Brown, and he just couldn't direct it beneath the crossbar. Otherwise we'd have had a truly spectacular goal. Brown did so well through the eye of the needle. Lovely cross, Payton climbing well, and the keeper was stranded. And he's did him as well. Atkins showing some nice touches. Heading straight to Demange. Kinson the first time crossing fight, Bamber and Bamber! So lucky can Payton fish it off. Well, that sums up the Bamber's fortunes here at Boothbury Park. He comes so close to scoring for the club since he's moved from Stoke without actually finishing the net. He is so unlucky here, Dave Bamber. The cross fell to him nicely. He sized the position. Oh, he's so close. Hull, no luck at all so far today. That two cracking efforts which deserve better reward. And another free kick for them, and another good position. So maybe they're building up to a crescendo of a goal. Gareth Roberts, they'll look for Bamber once more. Malcolm shot back in, and Bamber off his chest, and goalkeeper Stephen Pears gets down to it. And still the ball will not find its way into Middlesbrough's net. Now Slaven. You always feel there's some danger when Bernie Slaven's on the ball. They've sniffed him out this time. Atkinson comes. They've got the first at the moment. And he's got past Parkinson. He's done well. And he's won a corner. To take on the defender and getting his just desserts. And there's the signal from Gareth Roberts. Is anybody ready? Jobson's header off the line. They can't have any more ill luck in this game, surely. Jobson getting up above everybody there, and we've seen him do that on a number of occasions for Hull. Just the one goal so far this season. Now Bamber, yes, clings onto it for dear life. Middlesbrough are absolutely under siege here. Nicely controlled by Payton, and a good ball to Askew. Now then, Billy Askew. Good save by Pears. Billy Askew hasn't got a goal this season. And if Hull do have a failing, it's probably that their midfield men don't register often enough. Neither Askew nor Roberts has scored this season. Here Askew had a terrific chance, but drove it straight at the goalkeeper. Bamber then taking on Coleman. The young defender really did well, stuck to his task. Bamber's an awkward customer. And Simon Coleman, a big money signing from Mansfield Town this season. Gareth Roberts. The keeper didn't get it. Bamber did, off the line, and again Huller denied. Well, Pears didn't look too convincing when he came for it. Bamber couldn't squeeze it through the posse of defenders on the goal line. And Hull just have to keep battling, and surely a goal will come. Gareth Roberts it was who hit it in. And with Pears coming from his line, up went Bamber, got a header on it, and under that crossbar again, it's kept out by Mohan. Bamber traps it nicely. Askew has probably had the best chance, certainly, of this second half. Here's Atkinson's cross. And there is Mohan's clearing header. Shotton invites the youngster to have another go. Not two for that time. Peyton certainly hasn't got any room to work with, but he did it nicely. And Atkinson trying to shrug off the attentions of Mohan. Still with the ball. Jacobs this time. And that's going to be another corner, is it? Yes. And Hull really have to throw everybody up. Shotton, Jobson, Bamber, all the tall players. They've just got to keep working and looking for the one breakthrough which could be so valuable to their season, not just to today's match. Keeper comes, keeper doesn't get it first time, it's still being scrambled for. Shotton, Demange, oh, it flicked off the outside of the upright again. Middlesbrough just keeps surviving. Demange ruining his luck. There was the corner, and Pears hasn't met any of them convincingly today. It was a rare old scramble, and when it came back from Shotton, Demange with a little nudge of his foot was close again. Jacobs comes forward. Here's Bamber inside the area. Coleman got up above him. Bamber seemed to wait. Jacobs takes it off him. Wayne Jacobs wins the corner. No, he hasn't. It's a goal kick, in fact. Came off the fullback. But Jacobs almost caught Middlesbrough napping that time. Taking it on again from Baird. Not a bad pass either. Ripley has the chance to run at the whole defence. Lays the cross in. Jobson has it out. And it should come back in from Ripley. He's taking rather a long time about it. Eventually Proctor comes to lend a hand. McGee. For the first time in the match, it's Hollywood battling, and Slavin gets a shot on the mark. Just about the first one that Middlesbrough had in the entire game, I would say. But he was straight at Hesford. Ripley puts his own man Parkinson under a bit more pressure. But the final blast from the referee tells us it's a scoreless draw here at Boothbury Park. An almost embarrassingly one-sided game, but Hull, who've hit the woodwork on a couple of occasions, have won only one of their last 6 home matches now. Middlesbrough, though, have stopped the rot, you could say. They've lost their last 4. They've got a point here, a hard-fought game, but without a goal again. It's Hull City nil, Middlesbrough nil.
Do you think you've still got the morale in the dressing room to get out of the sticky position you're in?
Yeah, I mean, the lads are not, well, obviously a little bit down after that, because you know that all things being equal, you should have won the game. But, like, it's better to have played well and only drawn than to have played badly and drawn, because at least we know that if we keep doing the things that we're doing, if we play like we did today, we surely won't go down, because you know we was a lot better than Middlesbrough. They looked a poor side to me today. I was very disappointed in them.
Nothing disappointing in part 2. 6 games full of drama after the break. Welcome back to the Manor Ground, where Oxford had beaten Leeds in their last 3 meetings and started as though they expected to extend that run. Penny and Durnin exchanging passes. Fine save by Mervyn Day. Durnin over the top. 2 minutes gone. The former Liverpool player was to get a chance to show he can keep a shot down a quarter of an hour later. Mark Steen outwits Haddock. And it's Durnin's 13th goal of the season. Unlucky for Leeds. Leeds, in fact, were collectively dreadful in the opening 45 minutes. And when Simpson plays this impressive 1-2, Fairclough's boot touches it, Day touching it onto the bar and getting a bit of luck, but probably deserving it too. Leeds had Gary Speed starting again for the first time this season, and his shot was as near as Leeds came in the opening 45 minutes. They gave away a second goal a minute from half-time. Jim Beglin giving the ball straight to Lewis. Penny's unmarked on the touchline. Gordon Strachan's header put his own defence in trouble. They appealed for handball. It came off Steen's chest, and Simpson applies the perfect finish. Leeds 2-0 down at half-time, and the obituaries for their promotion challenge already being written. They were premature. Just before the hour, Sterling sets up Chapman with all the time he needed. And look at the determination on the Leeds faces. The fans may have sensed something special was in the air, and it was. Glenn Snowden was another Leeds man starting his first game of the season. His cross. Substitute Henry plays it back in, and Varady does what Howard Wilkinson brought him to do. Billy Jones is always on hand for the celebration. 2 minutes later, it was Jones' throw that caused turmoil, and Chris Fairclough find its first, second, third time lucky. Leeds 3-2 in front at 20-5, but there were still 15 minutes left because of yet another late kickoff. Time enough for Gary Speed to catch Foster in possession. He keeps his head well here, and Chapman keeps scoring. Now, Vinny here is late for the celebrations. He arrives with a quiet word of congratulation for Chapman, a firm message for Alexei Sale, and a cuddle for the referee. Leeds were enjoying themselves at the end of 45 minutes, which could prove the turning point in the title race. Foster clashes with Hendry in the last minute, and the referee gives a penalty. Now, Gordon Strachan, the penalty king at Elland Road, delegated Chapman to take it to try for his hat-trick. The Leeds bench tried to stop this, knowing goal difference could be vital. And as it turned out, they had a point. But Leeds had 3. Oxford 2, Leeds 4.
Former Leeds star Arthur Graham was in the unusual role of caretaker manager for Bradford following the sacking of Terry Yorath. And he was encouraged to see Tony Adcock look more like his old self. Stoke's defence had little answer to this one-man manoeuvre until Peter Fox responded. Mark Hazelwood was in the thick of things too and might have been gasping for a penalty by the time Leonard hooked the ball across for Neil Woods to head over the top. Stoke's performance reflected their position at the bottom of the table, due in part to only one away win all season, and Brook couldn't convert their best chance. The goalless draw was on the cards until Neil Woods, the recent signing from Ipswich, took a hand. Stoke thought he had physically, but Woods outstripped everyone to score a classic goal, his first for Bradford, their first win of the 90s. Bradford 1, Stoke 0. Andy wins for Leeds and Bradford, and Barnsley picked up a point in a 1-1 draw at Wolves. Steve Bull's inevitable goal cancelled out by Steve Agnew's 80th minute penalty. Sheffield United are face-to-face with Manchester United at the moment, of course, so they were overtaken in the table by Swindon, who now enjoy an identical goal difference to Leeds United. Well, the team they beat, Plymouth, have slipped into the bottom 4 below Hull and Middlesbrough. There's still a very real possibility, though, of the second division losing all 5 Yorkshire representatives at the end of the season. 2 up, 3 down.
In Division 3, Rotherham in 6th place faced Bury in 8th and got the perfect start. Sean Goodwin, after 9 minutes, celebrating his selection as Barclay's Young Eagle of the Month for Yorkshire. Bury were level within 5 minutes because when Lee ran at them with pace, the defence couldn't cope. Johnson's clumsy challenge brought a penalty. Patterson with the no-nonsense finish. Rotherham needed 3 points badly to keep in touch with informed teams like Tranmere and the two Bristol clubs, but Ronnie Robinson seemed intent on suicide. O'Hanlon grateful that Hume's toe poke went wide. The photographer seemed to know how they'd have done it better. Bury's second goal was of the end-to-end football variety. Kelly's clearance only just reached halfway, but Hume's header gave Liam Robinson all the encouragement he needed. And if you have any thoughts on Robinson's style of celebration, send on a postcard to Vinnie Jones. Here's a rare sight in the Football League, though less so for some reason in Rugby League, treatment with the feminine touch. How long to go? Not long enough for Rotherham. Buckley got few chances to show his paces. Bury stayed firm at the back. And at the other end, Robinson popped for his second. And Bury were well on their way to their 8th league win away from home, a record matched only by Bristol City. And they've scored 28 away goals, more than anyone else in the league. It could have been 29, but for Callum O'Hanlon, who touched Lee's shot onto the bar. Rotherham's third home defeat. Will it prove one too many? Rotherham 1, Bury 3.
Huddersfield's recent form has also taken a dip. Unfortunately, Craig Maskell's shot didn't. The man always likeliest to win the game was Clive Walker, and after one mazy run, only Lee Martin prevented him. And some suffering fans were already venting their displeasure in the direction of the director's box by the time Fulham got their winner. Walker's run reminiscent of those he used to make for Chelsea in the First Division. And the finish left nothing to be desired either. And that's 5 defeats in 6 games for the tottering Terriers. Huddersfield 0, Fulham 1. So Huddersfield, Rotherham and Mansfield all lost on a disastrous day for the region's clubs. Mansfield going down to a single goal at Swansea, cruelly timed 4 minutes from the end. So the prospects for Rotherham and Huddersfield considerably dimmed. The lights are not yet out, but the only other losers in the top 11 were Notts County, and that doesn't bode well. Nor does Mansfield's position. With 4 to go down, they have a big fight on their hands to preserve third division football at Field Mill, and they've 14 games left in which to do it.
In Division 4, Grimsby rank as one of the most improved teams. Gilbert's free kick gave the leaders Exeter problems. Goalkeeper Miller judged the width of his bar perfectly. More than 6,500 at Blundell Park, a sign of the club's revival under Alan Buckley. The decisive goal was simple. Birtles missed the header, Rees didn't, and Gilbert stayed calm. In truth, Exeter's away record is appalling for a team leading the division. 10 away defeats. Colchester have only lost 9 and they're second from bottom. This defeat should have been more decisive, but Sean Cunnington, who judged his run perfectly to beat the offside trap, perhaps had too much time to think. Credit to Miller, but it didn't spoil the Mariners' day. Grimsby 1, Exeter 0.
Chesterfield were hoping to score 3 goals in a game for the 5th successive match, something they've not done since 1939, and James Hewitt came from nowhere in the 22nd minute to boost their hopes against Hereford. By the 35th minute, those prospects seemed bright indeed. Dave Waller leading the charge and scoring a typical goal, his 15th of the season, and that's 4 in 4 games for him. Nothing new then for these spectators who were really rubbing their hands and expecting an avalanche by then. But Paul Hart had warned his players that Hereford are fighters, and they struck back. Paul Wheeler's effort fairly fizzing into the net. A cracking goal that from the former Cardiff player. Even so, Chesterfield could still have got their record. The manager's brother Nigel came closest, at 3 valuable points. Chesterfield 2, Hereford 1. Excellent wins too for Scarborough at Halifax and Scunthorpe, who are on a roll. The 3-0 success at Torquay means they haven't lost since the 2nd week in January. The table looks ever better. Grimsby are in the top 4 for the first time, just behind Lincoln, whose scheduled game at Peterborough yesterday will now be played on Tuesday, and Scunthorpe are just 1 win away from joining them. The bottom doesn't look so good though, especially as Wrexham and Colchester have rediscovered how to win. Doncaster, the most perilously placed of our sides, 7 points only clear now, and they've played a match more.
And that's it. A bright end to a dark week for West Yorkshire teams at the top and bottom of Division 2. See you next week.
or for just £4,000.